First of all, I want to wish all of you a Happy New Year. I know we all want 2021 to be better than the one we've just lived through. I'm working from home this morning because of the remodel of my offices. But those of you who have been in my office or have seen the whiteboard behind me on Zoom or Teams know that I have three words that stay up on my board. When I first got the whiteboard sometime in 2018, I think, I put up two words: systems and teamwork. Two concepts that are vital to any organization. We need systems so that we know how to go about accomplishing our tasks. We need to work together as a team because it is so much easier to do what we need to do when we work together to accomplish it. We all need others to help us. We cannot do it alone. Then in January of 2020, I decided to add a third word that became the word of the year for me and for the plaza. And that word was intentional, meaning that when we start a task or a project, we need to be intentional. We need to have the outcome in mind. We don't want to just wander. We need to have a goal. So now I figure I need to have a word of the year to add to my whiteboard for 2021. That word is forward. 2020 was difficult, to put it mildly. However, we accomplished a lot together. We all learned a lot that we will put to good use in the future, but let's not get bogged down dwelling on the negatives of the past. Let's leave all of that behind us and focus on the future. We have a lot of good stuff coming ahead of us. We have the promise of better days with the vaccine. We have the vision of Parkview as we look forward to the start of construction and the good things that addition will bring. We have the promise of new residents and new team members that we haven't met yet who will join us. There will be challenges, certainly, and we will meet those challenges with the same success we have met the ones in the past. Thanks for your great work. Forward to 2021.
Hi gang, it's me, Tamara, your wellness manager, and I'm here to talk to you today about New Year's resolutions. So it is quite the cliche that every year millions of people make New Year's resolutions and immediately fail. The joke is that you barely even remember by mid-February what you felt so strongly about back in late December or early January. But that doesn't mean you are doomed to fail. You can achieve your goals with a few little tweaks to the concept of the New Year's resolution. First of all, instead of making it this vague resolve, let's make it a specific goal. Let's choose something specifically that we want for ourselves, and we will put that goal, that resolution, through the filter of the SMART goal. That's going to help you nail down some information that is going to make you far more likely to stick with it and succeed. So let's look at the acronym of SMART. It stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Let's look at S first. That's for specific. You want to make sure that what you are trying to achieve is something specific. You can say, I'd like to be nicer. Well, yeah, that is a good goal, but maybe you can say, I would like to perform some acts of kindness for friends or strangers or whatever. That's a little bit more specific. Maybe you say, I want to lose weight. Well, maybe make that a bit more specific. Let's say I would like to lose 10 pounds. Maybe you'd like to quit smoking. So maybe you can say, I smoke 20 cigarettes a day right now. I would like to go down to 0 cigarettes per day. That's a specific goal. Next, we're looking at M, which is for measurable. You won't know that you've achieved your goal if you have no way of measuring its success. So let's say again that you wanted to start exercising, and maybe you wanted to start running or walking. You could say, I would like to complete a 5K road race or a fun run, and that's a 3-mile distance. You'll know when you've done it when there's 3 miles behind you, right? If you wanted to lose weight, maybe you could say, I want to change my body composition by 4%. Maybe you want to save money. You could say, I would like to save $1,000. That's measurable because you know you've got it when you've got it. Our A is for attainable. You want to make sure that your goal is attainable. If you say, I would like to have $1 million in the bank, and you only make $500,000 a year, well, that's not going to be an attainable goal within the year, right? So choose something that is realistic for you to achieve. Relevant is the next one. You want to make sure that the steps you take to achieve your goal are relevant to the goal. Don't get so lost in trying to do everything right that you overwhelm yourself and don't accomplish anything. Let's say you were trying to quit smoking and you said, well, in order to quit smoking, I'm going to go to yoga 7 days a week. You might fail in your goal at that point because you've given yourself an extra goal, which is going to cause you some stress. You're already stressed out because you're trying to quit smoking, and you might just say, well, forget the whole thing. Well, it may be if you took a more relevant step toward quitting smoking, such as maybe just go outside after dinner and take a little walk instead of smoking. That might be a more relevant step to take that could help you achieve that goal. And if you pre-plan it, you're more likely to achieve it. Our last letter of the acronym is T for time bound. You want to put that date stamp on your goal. Helping you do that is going to help you meet that goal. It's going to also help you design some mini goals along the way, which can keep you motivated and can keep you successful. Let's say your goal was weight loss and you wanted to lose 50 pounds. Well, let's say at about a half a pound or a pound and a half a week of weight loss, that would take you about 30 weeks, which would put you somewhere mid-year. Let's say that puts you at the beginning of August. You could say, I'd like to have 100 pounds lost or 50 pounds lost by the beginning of August. Then you could know that the halfway point of that, you should have half of that weight loss. And you can give yourself little rewards and motivations along the way by having that date stamp. If you did want to do a 5K fun run, find one and put it on your calendar. There's a bunch of them to choose from. If you wanted to save $1,000, that's your specific and measurable goal by the end of the year. That's the measurable part of it as well. That's the time-bound part of it. Then you could say, well, that's about $40 a paycheck that I need to save. And you can keep yourself on track throughout the year. So that way, instead of being some distant, this is what's going to happen at the end of the year goal, you actually have something that you're actively working on. And actively working on and meeting those milestones and finding little successes along the way will help you find your big success at the end of your goal time. If you need help sorting out the specifics for your goal within the SMART goal framework, please reach out to us in Wellness. We'll be happy to help you get there.
Hi there, I'm here to present the Employee of the Year, which is Sharon Singh. Sharon has been with Terwilliger Plaza for 2.5 years. She is one of the first faces that residents, employees, and family members see when they enter the doors into Terwilliger Plaza. Sharon always welcomes everyone she sees with a smile and a helpful, positive attitude. Sharon has stepped up and taken on more responsibility with the change and hardships that COVID-19 has brought. She consistently offers to help out at the screening table and provide information to new visitors. Sharon is loved by the members and is always ready to go out of her way to help them. We are so thankful to have you here at Terwilliger, Sharon. So thank you and happy Employee of the Year.
Oh, thank you.
Hello everyone, my name's Kerry and I'm a wellness coach at the Wellness Centre, which we are in right now. And we wanted to make a short video for you to talk about fall prevention. The reason we're doing this is because in January it is Fall Prevention Month. And we wanted to talk to you, as we do with our members here, because not just the members could fall over, but anyone reaching from the ages from young all the way up to older adults. So we just want to talk about different factors so we can help you, because we want to reduce falls to increase everyone's wellness.
Hey guys, it's Rachel here, and I'm going to go over some situational and environmental factors that often lead to falls. So first things first, when you're walking around, make sure you look up from your phone so you have a view of what you're walking into. And second, when it's nighttime, make sure you have a light on or something that can light your way so you know where you are going and what's in front of you. Environmentally, some things that often get into people's ways can be pets. If you want to make sure you know where they are when you're walking so they're not in between your legs or jumping out in front of you. Something else that can get in the way are just general debris or icy road conditions. In the winter time, you want to make sure you know if there's any ice on the road. You want to make sure that you aren't walking into piles of leaves or on grass where there could be uneven ground that can lead to rolled ankles, falling, anything like that. Indoors, some things to keep an eye out for are cords. These days we have so many cords plugging things in, so make sure that they're pushed up against a wall, tucked behind something where you're not going to trip on them. Make sure they're not crossing any paths you walk frequently. If you have any rugs, make sure they're not folded up, or those can often be a tripping hazard for people. Another thing that people will end up falling a lot for is if they have their personal needs or personal items high up or someplace that's not easy to reach. So if you're reaching for something, it can compromise your balance a little bit. So these are just some common things that people fall, reasons why people fall, and ways you can prevent that.
Hello everyone, it's me, Carrie again, and I'm here to talk about being strong and fit to help you with a balance. There's two different types of balance we have. There is static balance, where you're just standing on one leg and just holding, or other types of static balances, but it's just where you're holding the movement. The other type we have is dynamic. This type of balance is where you're moving and you just hold the balance. So you can be bending and moving, you can walk in, stop, hold, those types, okay? Those are two types. You can look more on the internet if you need to learn. And another part that's really good for balance is a nice strong core. Keeping this strong will really help you stay balanced, and one of the best exercises you can do to keep the core strong is a plank. And a plank is basically just using your whole body. You're going to be on the floor with your hands on the ground, or elbows, or on your toes, keeping that core strong and holding the position. The next thing we're going to talk about, which is on my beautiful list for you, is common risk factors of falling. There's quite a lot of different risk factors, but the biggest one that tends to hit most people is the fear of falling. The more you fear about falling, the more likely you're going to fall. So do your best not to fear, be confident in yourself, and you're less likely to fall. The other ones are visual impairments, if I can say the word. This can be tons of different things. Things that can cause visual impairments is not having your eyes tested, so not knowing whether you need glasses or not. Alcohol, that can make your eyes go blurry. Different medication, drugs, a lot of risk factors there with your visual impairments. The other bit is reduced muscle strength. So as we spoke earlier about that, make sure that core is nice and strong. Also, poor reaction times. Sometimes if you don't have a good reaction, like with the dynamic balance, if you react not well and you suddenly fall, that could cause issues. Other bits, as I said earlier, is medication. And another big one is standing up too fast. Everyone's probably done this. I know I do this all the time, where you're sat down and you suddenly just get up, you go a bit dizzy and you fall. Before you get up, just make sure you slowly come up and you don't do it too quick, and you should be fine. Have a nice day. Bye.
Hello, I'm Mandy Brenchley, VP of Health and Wellness at Terwilliger Plaza, here to talk to you about the COVID-19 vaccination. There is beginning to be more and more details about the COVID-19 vaccine, and this is an evolving situation, so we'll begin with letting you know what we currently know. As we learn more, additional information will be forthcoming. Let's begin by discussing the importance of getting vaccinated. Getting vaccinated is the best way we can control the spread of COVID-19 in our community. It is the best tool we have to help us end the COVID-19 pandemic in Oregon. It can prevent you, your family, and those we care for at Terwilliger Plaza from becoming seriously ill. Getting vaccinated brings us one step closer to getting back to a normal life. We know that there are a lot of questions about the COVID-19 vaccine that are causing you to consider whether or not you should receive the vaccine when it becomes available. Some of you are adopting the wait and see approach, while others are questioning the safety and efficacy of the vaccine. The information we are sharing with you today will attempt to address some of your concerns, along with answering other important questions associated with the vaccine. To understand how COVID-19 vaccines work, it helps to first look at how our bodies fight illness. When germs, such as the virus that causes COVID-19, invade our bodies, they attack and multiply. This invasion, called an infection, is what causes illness. Our immune system uses several tools to fight infection by using white blood cells. Your white blood cells fight infection in different ways. Some of your white blood cells swallow up and digest germs and dead or dying cells. They leave behind parts of the invading germs called antigens. The body identifies antigens as dangerous and stimulates antibodies to attack them. Other types of white blood cells attack cells in the body that have already been infected. The first time a person is infected with the virus that causes COVID-19, it can take several days or weeks for their body to make up and use all of the germ-fighting tools needed to get over the infection. After the infection, the person's immune system remembers what it learned about how to protect the body against that disease. The body keeps a few memory cells that go into action quickly if the body encounters the same virus again. Experts are still learning how long these memory cells protect a person against the virus that causes COVID-19. So how did a vaccine get developed more quickly than usual? There was a global effort with the world's leading scientists focused on a single task. Nearly unlimited resources, money, knowledge, manpower, technology were directed towards the single task, and a large pool of diverse individuals volunteered to participate in clinical trials. In short, the race to develop a vaccine received unprecedented support across the world. Safety is the most important priority in vaccine approval. An emergency use authorization, or EUA, for a vaccine is based on the need to use a vaccine quickly to save lives during a public health emergency. There are rigorous standards that the FDA has used for decades that are enforced. Most side effects occur within 6 weeks of vaccination. To be more cautious, the FDA required 8 weeks of safety monitoring of the COVID-19 vaccines. To assess safety, the FDA typically advises that a minimum of 3,000 participants are included in a trial. The current COVID-19 vaccine trials included 30 to 50,000 participants. There were no skip steps in the safety evaluation process. An EUA does not imply that the authorization was done too quickly or that the vaccine is not safe. 3 independent advisory committees reviewed the results prior to determining the vaccine was safe and effective for use. Even after a vaccine is authorized or approved, safety monitoring continues for side effects or adverse events in order to decide if any additional changes or recommendations need to be made. Clinical trials are conducted to identify if the various vaccines being developed are safe and effective before they are approved for use in the United States. Tens of thousands of individuals from diverse age groups and backgrounds participated in the Pfizer vaccine clinical trials. In order for a vaccine to be authorized quickly, such as now during the pandemic, the potential benefits of the vaccine must outweigh any known and potential risk in order for an emergency use authorization to be designated by the FDA. To date, there are 2 types of vaccinations that have received authorization for distribution in the U.S., Pfizer and Moderna. The state of Oregon has selected the Pfizer vaccine for phase 1 of its initial vaccination efforts. A fact sheet about the vaccine produced by the manufacturer is available to all employees by contacting Human Resources. The Pfizer vaccine is a messenger RNA vaccine, also known as mRNA, that gives instructions to our cells to make a harmless protein, the spike protein, that is unique to this virus. The spike protein is found on the surface of the COVID-19 virus. Our bodies recognize that this protein should not be there, so they build antibodies that will remember how to fight the virus that causes COVID-19 if we are ever infected in the future. It does not contain the COVID-19 virus. mRNA technology is new in vaccine production, but is already being used in cancer treatments. It has been studied for more than 10 years. The mRNA vaccine cannot give you COVID-19, nor will it cause you to test positive for COVID-19, and it definitely cannot alter your DNA. The Pfizer vaccine requires 2 doses administered 21 days apart. It is very important that you receive the second dose a few weeks after the first for the vaccine to be fully effective. Clinical trials showed that the Pfizer vaccine was 95% effective in preventing COVID-19 infections. Out of the 40,000 plus individuals who participated, only 8 still acquired the disease. One of the challenging aspects of the vaccine is that it requires ultra-cold transport and storage of -70 degrees Celsius. Once thawed, it has a shelf life of 5 days. That is why we are dependent on an outside pharmacy to administer the vaccines here at Terwilliger Plaza. The vaccine may cause short-term discomfort in a percentage of the people who receive it. The most common side effects include headache, muscle pains, fatigue, chills, fever, and pain at the injection site. This is the effect of your body developing immunity. Clinical trial participants reported that the discomfort went away after a day, sometimes sooner. When you receive the second dose of the vaccine, the discomfort can be more pronounced. This is a normal reaction, so be prepared. This does not mean that the vaccine has given you COVID-19. Rather, this means that the vaccine is causing your body's immune system to react and create antibodies to fight off the virus. In other words, if you feel some discomfort, then the vaccine is doing its job. These are minor side effects in contrast to actually contracting the disease, which can attack your lungs and have much more severe and long-lasting health ramifications, including the risk of death. As mentioned before, we know that you have a lot of questions about getting vaccinated. Following are answers to a number of commonly asked questions. A frequently asked questions handout is also available through Human Resources and will be updated regularly as needed. Vaccination in the initial phase of Oregon's COVID-19 vaccination program will be offered to healthcare personnel and residents of long-term care communities. All employees of Terwilliger Plaza and members living in the Metcalf and Terrace are eligible to receive the vaccine. Terwilliger Plaza is taking the position that getting vaccinated is not a job requirement. However, we strongly encourage everyone to take this opportunity to get the vaccination. It will protect you, your family, the general population, and our members who are still the most vulnerable. It is unclear when independent living members will have access to the vaccine. The vaccine consists of 2 doses, administered 3 to 4 weeks apart. Protection occurs 1 to 2 weeks after the second dose. It is still unclear how long the vaccine will be protective once we receive it. Only time will tell as research continues. It is possible we may need to have vaccine shots for COVID-19 on a regular basis, similar to the flu shot. Stopping the virus will require a significant amount of people to become immune. Scientists estimate it will take at least 70% of the population to get vaccinated in order to achieve herd immunity. If enough of us get vaccinated, we can achieve community immunity and significantly slow the spread of the virus. Trained medical professionals from CVS Pharmacy will administer the vaccine during pre-selected clinics at Terwilliger Plaza. Dates and times of the clinic will be selected by CVS and have not yet been determined. Because the vaccine is administered in 2 doses, employees must plan to attend 2 clinics to receive both doses. If an employee does not receive the first dose, then they will not be eligible to receive the second dose. As more information becomes available, we will let you know when this is scheduled to occur. There is no cost to you or Terwilliger Plaza for the vaccine. However, CVS will bill your insurance for its administration. If you are uninsured, CVS will seek reimbursement from the federal government. Employees must complete and return a consent form to Human Resources by December 29th in order to be included in the vaccination count. CVS Pharmacy will not have extra vaccinations on hand for employees who missed the date. You will need to continue to wear a mask and practice all other infection control measures until further guidance is received from the Center for Disease Control. Even though you have received your vaccine, most of the people around you have not. We know the vaccine prevents disease in the vaccinated person, but it still may be possible to transmit the disease to others until the vaccine is in widespread use. Even if you have had COVID-19, it is safe to get the vaccine, and this can add additional protection without causing any harm. If you have had a test that shows you have COVID-19 antibodies, you should still get the vaccine. It is safe and can increase your protection from future COVID-19 infections. If you would like to keep up to date on the state or federal vaccination program, it is important to get information from reliable resources. Here are some websites for you to read more about the most current information available on the virus and vaccines. It is essential for you to be knowledgeable about the vaccines regarding benefits, safety, potential side effects, and to be able to participate in the COVID-19 vaccination program when it becomes available. Please remember, social media is not a reliable resource and can be full of misinformation and biased opinions based on that misinformation. Employees should contact Human Resources with questions related to getting the vaccine by calling 503-957-7584 or emailing hr@terwilligerplaza.com. Please direct vaccination questions related to members in the Metcalf and Terrace to Heather Lucas, Director of Health Services at extension 7877, or email hlucas@terwilligerplaza.com. For general questions, feel free to reach out to me, Mandy Brenchley, at extension 7801, or email mbrenchley@terwilligerplaza.com. Thank you.